I'm GREYMOND. I'm an expert in OCD recovery because for the last 19 years, I've been helping people fully recover from OCD. If you would like to do personal coaching with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there. Let's talk about how to recognize rumination. So it's important to note that rumination is something that you do actively. So this is not thoughts coming in all day. We know that. Rumination is what happens when you get a thought, a feeling, an image, a sensation, some sort of a trigger. When that happens, what is your next reaction? If your reaction is to somehow work through the thought, and sometimes therapists on error kind of go into solving the thought of the day with the client. And this works when you don't have OCD, when you have other conditions. But when you have OCD, this is just the thought of the day. Tomorrow is going to be a new thought or a variation of this thought, and it goes and goes and goes and feeds the disorder. It never ends. So it's very important that you don't go into solving a thought. If you feel like you are starting to get into what we call content, OCD content, and especially nuances. So you feel yourself zooming into it. Let's say your OCD will say, why did you have that thought? What does this mean about you? And then immediately you're like, yeah, why did I have the thought? I remember in that moment, here you go, diving in full force. Don't go in the moment. Don't solve it. Don't figure it out. That's active rumination when you're trying to do those types of behaviors. Also, if you're researching online, if you are confessing or asking for reassurance, that's also rumination, because while you're doing those behaviors, you are ruminating. Also, when you're ruminating about recovery itself, if you're doing that obsessively, as in, but what if I don't recover? Oh my God, really? Yeah, what if I don't recover? And then you go on with that. That's also rumination. So you start to add how much time in the day you spend overthinking all of this nonsense. And it's not surprising that your OCD is where it is, because you're overthinking tons. And this is where you track rumination and you scale back how much you are letting yourself ruminate. So you're saying in the next hour, no matter what, I'm not going to ruminate more than, let's say, 30 minutes. And you stick to that. Obviously, less if possible. Like, don't give yourself freedom to ruminate, but no more than 30 minutes at its worst. And stick to that. And then your next goal tomorrow, and the next goal. And I can tell you, I showed you guys in the shorts how fast people are recovering when they use this method, and when you're accountable and when you're focused. Not obsessively accountable, right? We don't want to go into meta OCD where you're overthinking, was it 25 minutes or 26 minutes? Roughly speaking, not perfectly, not obsessively, but approximately. Did you ruminate about 5-10 minutes, or did you ruminate about an hour, right? You know the difference. Again, we're tracking active rumination and always reducing. So no, I'm not thinking about nonsense. Instead, refocus your mind on what you're going to do in the day, like what you're going to do next. So stuff that's practical. When you're thinking about what I'm going to do next, that's not, for most people, that's not rumination, unless you have OCD connected to it. So practical, logical, everyday stuff. And it's not bad if you are refocusing, because sometimes clients ask this, is it bad if I'm refocusing? If you're refocusing from a position of fear, potentially like, I hate this thought, I gotta run away from this thought, that can be avoidance. But if you're saying, I have better things to do, I'm going to focus on everyday life because that's actually important, and this is just nonsense of the day number 1 million, right? That's not bad. You should be doing that, because that's a normal thing to do, and you're training your brain back into normalcy, which is where we want to be. Thank you for listening. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If you would like to do private coaching with me, please sign up through youhaveocd.com. I'll see you tomorrow.